Welcome back to a conversation with President Barack Obama. We have another question right here, Mr. President.
Hi, Mr. President. My name is Adrienne. I'm from Butner, North Carolina. I just wanted to ask you a question about environmental justice. I am a big fan of the city of New Orleans. It's my favorite city in the country. And obviously, Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast. And not only just the land, but the people there as well. And they are still struggling. Hopefully that will not happen again. I don't think it will, especially under your administration. However, there are still quite a few landfills, and there are nuclear power plants that are in low-income communities. This is definitely not just an environmental issue, but also a civil rights issue. It's also, aside from civil rights issue, it's a public health issue because these people are getting sick and they cannot afford to the health care they need to get well. So my question is, what sort of steps is your administration planning to take to address the issue of environmental justice?
Well, let me say, first of all, that this is an example of where the issue probably has more to do with income than it has to do with race or ethnicity. Generally speaking, in this country, a lot of environmentally problematic facilities tend to be located in places where poor folks live because wealthier folks have the ability to say, not in my backyard. And, you know, I've got firsthand experience of this when I was a community organizer. I was working in Chicago in a place called Altgeld Garden. It was down at the tip of Chicago. It had a landfill on one side. It had a polluted river on another. It had a sewage treatment plant on another. And folks who were living there, you know, had higher cancer rates, and they had asbestos in their buildings. And, you know, it's just a toxic soup down there because they didn't have power. And so part of what we have to do is to make sure, number one, that we are enforcing generally our environmental policies without regard to whether some place is wealthy or poor. Everybody should have the chance at clean air and clean water. Number two, we've got to identify new strategies to use cleaner energy because that is a recipe for reducing the overall amount of pollution that's out there. And one of the things that we've done during the course of the last 20 months that I've been in office that I'm very proud of is generating more investment in clean energy, solar panels, you know, wind turbines, biodiesel. The more we are using clean energy, renewable energy sources, the less this ends up being a problem for everybody, but particularly for folks who have to suffer the consequences of some of these facilities.